Sorry.
Hey everyone, welcome to my first legit stream in what is probably a long time. Turn my fan off so you can hear me better. So tonight's stream, I don't have a super rock solid plan, but I know the direction I'm going in now, and in addition to that, I also know that tonight today I guess, I just want to start by making the base sort of framework for a point-and-click game, RPG style game on mobile devices. For that we'll be using PhaserJS and possibly a couple plugins. So without further ado, let's dive on in and get cracking. Ready? Here we go. All right. So, first things first, let's get going on our phaser build. For that, I always reference the old blog post I made, which is on github.io, because I still haven't rememberized all these steps, but somewhere in here. Oh, there it is, that one. Now I know Phaser's changed a bit in the time since I've worked on it last, but to get started, we'll cd into my folder, my games folder, make a directory called OH base. Just call it that for now, Openhaven base. And we'll go npm init. I'm good with all that. Now, next up, we got to install all of our developer dependencies, which is basically Webpack, Babel, and a bunch of plugins for them. Give that a sec to run. Alright, so those are good. Those have installed. Now we just need to install Phaser. And this is our only developer dependency at the moment. We might have some more incoming shortly, but for now, Phaser's our one dependency. Alright, this is just me explaining what all these do. Next up, we have to get our build and dev scripts. I know for a fact that the build script is a little out of date on this one. But for now, we're just going to be worrying about the dev script, so I'm not too worried about it. So that is in, switch it back to columns, Kirk, games, OH base, open. Is that a second to open? Yes, I trust myself. Package.json. Now we'll replace the scripts that it has built in with a few of our own. And then we need a webpack.config.js, so we'll make that in the root of our games directory. And there's a lot more that goes into that. We also want a Babel RC file. And we're just going to tell it which preset we want to use. Now, that's our CSS. So now we need a directory called source, which is where all of the actual, assets and code for our game is going to live. So in here I made a main.css file, so we'll do the same. For now we'll just leave that blank. Or let's just make the body background color red, just so, or let's use Alice purple or Alice blue. Oops, sorry Alice. Thought it was Alice Purple. That's awkward. Then this is what we're going to use for our game's boilerplate, which is going to be in a file called just index.html in the source as well. Except let's change this to OH-base, and that's all. Everything else is fine. Still not going to use that just yet because there's a final version right at the bottom. Static assets. I believe this is the final version. Copy all that, and this is our Webpack config. We might need to tweak this a little bit because I know some of these have changed how Webpack works as well. But anywho, so now what, Phaser? Now we need to actually make our basic game files. So we'll make a scenes directory. And in here we'll make, or sorry, this is first in the root we need a game.js file. Copy that, paste that. Then we need a source/scenes, we've got that. We need a boot scene, which is this one. In the file boot.a_scene.js. And my CPU sitting around 35%. That's not bad. DD, hello Emily Vero. How are you today? And we're gonna need an assets directory inside of our source, so we'll do that now. And we'll download this little cat creature and put him in games OH-base source asset. And in game scene, we will paste this code. So new scene, game scene.js. And there you go, we've got a game scene. And that hopefully is it. Let's see if this works. Well, it's serving it, so let's see if it works. Localhost 8080, and that is indeed our game, although it doesn't look to be working quite right because I don't see our cat. So we've got a console error, although it's not. So we're on Phaser version 3.55. Interesting. I wonder why we're not seeing any errors, although we're still not seeing the cat. Oh, wow. It would probably help if I added the boot scene. Oh, geez. Don't open your Facebook Messenger on the stream, Kirk. Oops. So we need to copy the code for boot scene. I forgot to do that. That would be why. Localhost 8080. Oops. And there we go. We've got a cat. And we can move him around with the keyboard. And there is our cat. There's our game. Okay, we're done. Have a good night, everyone. Facebook Messenger bad. Yeah. Oops. Oops. Bad boy. That's another reason I want to get my own computer just for my own stuff, so I can be careful not to show things I shouldn't on my stream. Also, Emily Vero, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to this channel, to the whatever this is. Whatever this is. Welcome. Alright, so let's see here. First thing we're gonna do to make our game our own is we're gonna do a little bit to the HTML in the body. So we're gonna clear out that and say HTML and body. Can I sing a song? I know how it feels to wake up fucked up, pockets broke as hell, another rock to sell. People look at you like something something, selling drugs to all the losers, mad Buddha abuser. There you go. DD. Dabs, yeah. So we get rid of the margin and the padding. Now that means our game is flush with the corner. There's no more white space between it and the corner. Our canvas tag we will make display block. And I think that's all we need for CSS. Now in our boot scene, nope, not our boot scene. I'm gonna get rid of that sidebar too because it takes up too much space. We're gonna set the width to window.inner width and the height to window.inner height. Now we have a full screen game, very nice. Go all the way across the screen, which is good because we're gonna be focusing on making this a mobile game. So for that, I'm gonna set up my dev tools to emulate a Pixel 2's screen size. And that's about what we're working with there. Now, what else do we want to do? We also want to, I don't know, start thinking about what the game's actually going to be, I guess. There was a couple things I had in mind for that. I was thinking for one thing we could go through some graphics and figure out what... Oh, Club Penguin, right, yes. Might get in trouble if I called it that. But I get what you're picking. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We could also Rabbit Club Penguin, right? Indeed. Well, what I'm thinking though is what we can do for now is basically just we can either one of two things. We can get some basic code working with movement and pathfinding and that kind of stuff. I've used a pathfinding plugin before. It was a little buggy and it was lacking a couple features I was hoping it would have. So that might be a way to go. It might also not be a way to go. Hard to say for sure. Or we could go through some graphics and find some fun little characters and sprites to work with. I think maybe we'll do that first because that way we can build out a little map and load in a map into our code so that when we start coding our our pathfinding stuff, we'll be able to actually have a world to mess around with. So for that, we're going to open up my folder again, assets, purchased, because I have gone a little bit ham and I've purchased quite a lot of graphical assets from this awesome website that I found, and I, for the life of me, can't remember the name of it. Game Dev Market? That might be it. Game Dev Market, if you're watching this, shout out. Give me a sponsor. That'd be dope. So, sprites. I get the feeling these are all... I really need to organize these better, but I think these are all... just take a look at Orcs V1. Yeah, these are all side-scroller ones, I think, which in this case I don't really think will work because I want this game to be like a top-down game. Well, I think I want it to be a top-down game. I'm not really sure. You know what? Why don't we make a... Let's just make a side-scroller. Because I was thinking an element of this game could be that we could use a sliding time scale so that sometimes when you're playing the game everything is like slow motion and blurry and like hard to control and hard to move and really unresponsive. And then the other side of the spectrum is it'll be really intense and really fast paced and just crazy, but like also really dangerous. So I think that style of gameplay would actually work really well either for a sort of like an arcade style game where you're running through stuff from the top down, or a side scroller where maybe it has really simplistic controls, like you just tap the screen to jump or something. Because I want to make the controls feel as natural as possible as I can on mobile. I don't want to use like virtual controllers if I can avoid it. So actually I do think if we're illustrating the time scale effect, it might make more sense to go with a platformer or like a side scroller, so to speak. So yeah, why don't we do that? Let's try and make a side scroller. So we're gonna need something for our main character. What are Vikings? Assassin. Assassin Dark. That's kind of beefy. Axe. Axe Dark. Also beefy. They are called Vikings, so I should have known what I was getting into. Rogue is a sprite I've used on a different game before. She's really cool. This is a little sample of what she looks like. Maybe we should use her again, because I never actually released the game where I was using her. It was very much just in beta, so this could be her time to shine. Just take a quick look through everything else just in case there's something else I'm feeling, but I think that'll do. Scarier. Ah, scarier. For the Vikings? Is that what you mean, Emily? Yes. Alright. Okay. So maybe for now we'll just use the cat as a placeholder and then replace the cat with this when we actually put together the textures that we want and everything, because right now... Oh, hold on, you know what? This one came with an A-sprite file, if memory serves. Yes, it did. So let's open up this chicken A-sprite. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we've got all the frames and all the animations in A-sprite. Sprite makers, if you're watching this, please use A-sprite or some program where you can export all of your sprite as one sprite sheet and with any JSON data or whatever that goes with it, because it is so helpful when you're actually coding it into the game to have all that in one file instead of being split up into a million different files. So for this, we're going to say export sprite sheet. We're going to trim the sprite. We're also going to trim the cells. We're going to ask for an output file and a JSON data. Might as well just leave all this the same because I've never found that makes any difference really. I don't actually understand what those options are. I do know, however, in certain versions of Phaser, it only works if you give it the item file name of frame. So I'll do that just in case. I imagine they've fixed that by now, but still. So now let's back out into my games. We will find obase, source, assets. We can drop it in there. Same with the JSON file. Games, obase, source, assets, and rogue.json. Now we can export that. Sprite sheet generated. Cool, so we've got a sprite. Now we're going to need to figure out something for the map, and I know for this I've got a lot of stuff. So this we might spend a bit of time looking through. So first of all, we've got game obstacle sprites windows. 2D isometric, so that's not going to work. We're not making an isometric game, although I would love to make an isometric game one day. Windows again, game backgrounds. 2D asset pack. Cartoon Town. Game level map, 9 different worlds. Okay, let's open up this and see what's in there. Oh, this is like a... That's kind of just like a... Yeah, that's not going to work. Level map creator for water levels. Ooh, here we go. Game level map pack, side scrolling. PNG, desert. That's the background. Are these just backgrounds? What a rip. Level map creator, no. Vector. Oh, this is another one of those just kind of graphical ones. It's not really a pack, or it's not really a map. I'm just gonna start clicking around until I find something I like. Another one of those. Bummer. I've got a lot of those. I was hoping I wouldn't so much. Platformer tile set. Green greens. Here we go. What do we got in here? Tiles and BG. Okay. Well, that's something. Alright, so that's something. What else do we have? Green forest platformer. House interior, landscape, constructor set. Okay, what's this? Interesting. We got some skies, we got grass, which looks really cool actually. Got trees. This is actually looking pretty good. It's not exactly what I pictured. It looks, although, question becomes, do we want to make this game level based or do we want to make it like an endless runner? Because either could be cool. An endless runner would almost be easier to implement too. So that's a thing to consider. Not easier to implement necessarily, but we wouldn't have quite as much content creation to do because we wouldn't have to make a bunch of levels. And the other thing too is if we're making it like a mobile game, which we are, we do want to keep it as simple as we can because mobile games have, in my opinion, a tendency to get overcomplicated and then they're not really as fun to play because there's just too much going on for such a small screen and such a not limited gameplay style, but just in general, yeah. Having a single input device, i.e. the touchscreen, instead of a bunch of buttons and joysticks and stuff. So this is actually quite cool. Landscape constructs. Let's see if they have like an example of one built. I don't think they do. Though, I think we could work with this, honestly. This could be really cool. Because I'm just picturing it now, basically like holding your phone, I don't know, swipe up to jump, swipe forward to attack, swipe back to, I don't know, dodge or something, or I don't know, but we could do something with this, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and go work with this because this is interesting. This is thought-provoking. So game assets 3. Is there multiple ones? No, just this. So we got 3, which is like, this one's sort of mountains, I guess. Sorta. I hope they're not all the same. No, they're definitely not all the same, so that's cool. So we've got We have the capacity for multiple levels. Ooh, what's this? Is this like a cave one? Nice. Oh, this one has little collectibles and stuff too. That's neat. Oh, and slanted terrain. That might be something we can work with. What's this? Like ice? I guess. Tropical? Okay. We might have to, it might be a little touch and go working with this one because we might have to sort of guess how the assets are being used. Like it has some examples like this, but generally speaking it looks quite, like it might be a bit of guesswork, but I'm alright with that. Gives us a little bit of creative freedom in how we're going to use our assets. So it's just got some basic trees. Looks like it has them in different seasons too, which is kind of neat. It's a nice hill. Oh, it's got blocky ones too. I like the blocky ones. Okay, it's not bad. So we've kind of got like two foresty, grassy ones. Oh, nice. We got a snow one too. Perfect. So that's like basically 4 levels, but 3 solid different ones. Nice, like the cliff endings. Does it have a cliff mid? Not really. It's okay. Yeah, I'm pretty good with this asset pack. I think this is what we're going to use. It's like 1,000,000,000 degrees in my apartment right now, and I had to turn off the fan, much to the dismay of my girlfriend, because we have it's all about the stream, baby. All right, so. Oh, geez, I forgot to update my stream info. Too late for that. All right. So where do we want to start? I guess we can start by importing some assets. Ooh, and I just had a thought too. If we're doing like a really basic side scroller, it would not be difficult to import or to implement matter physics, meaning we could have some really dynamic rigid bodies and stuff like that going on, which would be really cool. Yeah, I'm feeling it. This is what we're gonna do. And oh, those rigid bodies would look so sick with the time scaling too. Alright, so first up, let's import this .load.AceSprite, I believe is the new one. We want key to be rogue, texture URL to be assets/rogue.png, JSON or Atlas URL to be assets/rogue.json. We'll say this .load. Oh, I guess we need to copy some of these, don't we? Why don't we just... Well, let's start with one that we want to just start with, and then we'll go from there. And so this looks like background stuff, background stuff, background stuff. Foreground, probably. Hills, background, background. That's a nice looking tile, and it actually looks like it clips nicely on either side, so we could repeat that really nicely, which would be pretty cool. Got a very nice tree, another very nice tree, another very nice tree. Yeah, we got some nice trees. We've got a good sky too. Now just double check. Nice, and it fades. From my vision, it looks like it fades just to one color, which is really cool. And it's a bit longer than the screen will be, because I'm intending for this to be a portrait game. So because it's longer than the screen will be, it's longer than it is tall, we'll be able to have this scrolling as well with possibly a bit of parallax. All right, sweet. So why don't we start with Ye Old Platform. I'm gonna tag it as red, just so we know we've already used it. Go back into me, Kirk, games, obase, source, assets, call this green tile. Now if I untag it here, is it going to untag it over there? That's my question. Nope, doesn't. Cool. So we'll say this.load.image green tile assets slash green tile.png. Now we just have one more step to throw in our boot scene, which is to this.anims.create from asprite rogue, and that'll just set it up so that it parses all the animation data from the atlas file. Now in our game scene, what we're going to do pardon me, is we are going to first kill that line break at the start because that drives me nuts. I'm gonna get rid of, we'll keep the cursors for now just while we're testing. Get rid of up and down, I guess. Yeah, we'll just get rid of all this for now, except for the deconstruction of the cursors. Then we'll say this dot, we'll say, yeah, this dot rogue equals this dot add dot sprite rogue, or what is it expecting? Hold on. Oh, this dot physics dot add dot sprite xy. Okay, so we'll say window dot inner width divided by 2. Y can be window dot inner height minus maybe 300, maybe 200, and then string, that's what we were going for before, our key for the character. See what it looks like. Hey, and we've got a dropping sprite because we actually applied it with physics, so let's just get rid of the physics for now. Just have it as a normal image. Cool. So there's our rogue. Let's scale her up slightly. By slightly, I mean quite a lot. So we'll say rogue set scale, maybe 2. Let's just try that. 2 is pretty good. 2 actually might even be a bit much. We'll try 1.5. Oops. Yeah, 1.5 is good. I'm good with that. Now that we've got that, what we're going to want to do next is probably figure out how we're going to implement the physics here. So I know there's a good series of tutorials on this, creating modular, yeah, these ones. Now this looks like it's part 5, and well, maybe not. I think this is part 5. I want part, yeah, number 5. We want part 4. Modular worlds phaser 3. Number 2, number. Yeah. Does it have links to the other ones? Sure doesn't. Let's say tile maps number 4. There we go. Meet matter.js. That's what we're going for. I know the start of this, he's just going through how to use matter standalone outside of phaser. That's not really what we want. We want matter and phaser right here. Okay, so yeah, first thing we want to do is we want to configure our game.js file to use matter as the default physics engine. So instead of arcade, we'll do matter. Doesn't show if you can add a physics debug, but I'm just gonna assume you can't. Assume that's a arcade feature. And not seeing any problems, so that's cool. Now, main scene. He's loading stuff up, he's making a tile map. Setting collisions, and he's converting them. So now yes, because this is a modular physics tutorial, he is still talking a lot about using matter with like an actual tile map thing, which in this case we're not really going to be doing. We're going to be using it more with programmatically generated like side-scrolling environments. That's okay. We can still find a way to work with that. Let's see what he's doing for the sprite. Okay, matter.addImage. Okay. That's probably something we could do. Game scene. We'll say, give some comments in here. We'll say, add our player. And we're gonna just leave it as a static sprite for now. Add a platform. This dot platform. Wow, if I could type. This dot, now he went matter. Matter dot add dot. There we go. Now we got nice sprite stack image. Yeah. So we've got our matter image. Now it's expecting an XY, so we'll give it the same window.inner height divided by 2 window.inner, oops, not height, we want width there. Window.inner width divided by 2 window.inner height minus, why don't we just leave it as that, so it's a little like half cut off the screen. And then we want our get key. So for that, what do we call it? We called it green tile. Green tile. It's going to be huge because that's a big image, so we might have to scale it down. But that actually should lend us a hand. Whoop. And it fell right away, so that's interesting. We must have to disable. Physics on it. Fun and fresh, yes indeed. So let's say this dot platform dot set static. Is that a thing? I feel like it is. Okay, let's try that. Hey, and look at that. We now have a huge tile that's totally overlapping our character, but scale it down a touch. We'll say this dot set scale 0.25. See what that looks like. Ooh. Oh, whoops, no. This dot. We want this dot platform dot. There we go. Now we've got a ground. And I think we could even go a little touch bigger than that. So let's say 0.3. Maybe even a little more, 3.5, and let's shift it up slightly by like 50. Yeah, there we go. That looks like a cool ground for a game. Now I'm gonna add a section to our code right away so we get this out of the way quick. We'll call this layering. So we'll say this dot rogue set depth 2. And we'll say this dot platform set depth 1. So these are like our layers, so that just means our player, if we were to move them down slightly, like 150, now the player is on top of the platform. That's all that does. Instead of being behind the platform. Let's do like 160. Nice, so that's fairly centered in the platform. The white is a little difficult to see against the green, but we can deal with that kind of stuff later. For now, what I think we should do is get some basic keyboard movement working, and then we'll replace it with the touch movement, which what I'm feeling for this game should be like an auto runner, so like have it automatically run through the level, but you have to interact with the level to get not fucked up, basically. But for now, we'll just do basic keyboard movement. So let's reference this and see what he's messing with to move his... Oh, you know what? I feel like that's going to be in the next tutorial. That was number 5, so let's find that one. Number 5. Wow, says Emily. Thank you. So yeah, here we go. Now he's working with a player. So let's go through here. How's my computer doing? At 35% CPU, not bad. That's for input stuff. That's collision stuff. Collision plugin, that's nice. I just want to get to the player. Here we go, creating the player. So yeah, now he explains how he does all the sensors for the player, which we probably will implement eventually, but for now, we just want some really basic camera following goodness. Or, you know, we might not even do camera following. Or, we probably should, just to make it better. So, for moving the character is what I'm interested in. Here we go. So, is right down. So he applies a move force. Move force being 0.01. Okay, cool. So we can do that. So now let's say this dot add, let's say matter dot add sprite, and just see if it works. Indeed it does. She is standing on top of it though, because if we were to just drop that and put that like that, oops. Oh wait, minus 500. Now she should fall to the platform, which is cool. So we've got some basic physics working already. DD, says Emily. DD, indeed. One little thing I want to tweak right away, is to change the collision shape of this so that she lands a little more in the center. So what I'm thinking for doing that would be maybe, I'm not sure. I guess, yeah, just let's find change collision box, phaser 3 matter. Changing collision box with matter. It's a discourse thing. Wait, hold on. What's this? Set frame. I'm just looking for something that I can use to set the size of the box. Actually, let's see if we can enable debugging. So let's go to our game and just see if this flag works. We'll say debug true, and hopefully this will give us some collision boxes. Hey, it does, look at that. It's green, so it's gonna be hard to see against the green, but we can see the collision boxes there. The one for our player is huge, just because there's a lot of padding in that sprite. But that's okay. Let's first, let's just see if some of the tried and true phaser things I know for arcade physics hold true in matter. So we'll say this dot, do all that stuff first, and we'll say this dot platform dot set size. Okay, set size. The width of the game object. So it's the internal size of the game object as used for frame or physics body creation. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what's it expecting? A width and a height. So let's just try I don't know what the width would be, I guess. Width can be this dot platform, oopsies, platform dot display width. So that should hopefully make it the same as our scaled width, because that's the only issue, is we've scaled it, so we can't just look at the image and say, oh, it'll be that width. We've scaled it, so we'd have to apply some math to it, which we could do if this doesn't work, but I have a feeling this will work. Then we can say this dot display height, oops, this dot platform dot display height divided by 2, so it'll be half the display height. Let's see if that works. Sure doesn't. Okay. Bummer. Set hit area, phaser 3 matter. Change sprite hit area. Must include matter, so let's do that. How to change hitbox's shape of an image. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. So they're actually creating a rectangle. And then, interesting. Which I guess is a way we could do it. We could have like some invisible rectangles, which are the actual hit shapes of the ground, and then just have the ground sort of as a basic no physics sprite applied to the top. That might actually make it easier to work with, so why don't we try that? We'll say add platform, and that also means we can remove that call to this.getStatic. Add platform hitbox. This dot platform hit equals that. Let's call it platform box maybe. Equals this dot matter dot add dot rectangle. Now we're saying 200, 200, that must be X, and well, actually we can find out what those are. Keep those because I want that to be the width and height. Yeah, XY, so we'll say window inner width divided by 2, window dot inner height minus 50, width and height, boom boom. Now he's applying a chamfer radius, which must just be like a border radius basically on the rectangle. But I don't want to do that. I want it to just be an actual rectangle, so I'm going to leave that option out. And actually we do need to say this dot platform box dot sets. I guess we don't need to set the scale on this actually. That's cool. But we do need to say set static so it doesn't fall with gravity. Does set static not work? Ooh, bummer. Let's just leave it out. Maybe it is static by default and physics doesn't actually affect it. No, physics definitely affects it. Set static true. Yeah, platform box set static is not a function. Let's just console log this dot platform box. Just see, maybe there's a game object hidden in there somewhere. Or a body. I guess a body is what we want. Not actually seeing one though. That sucks. Oh, game object is null. Set on collide with. Hey, that seems new. Still not really what we want though. So let's see. We're gonna have, so type body, but that's not actually the body. Region. Oh, ignore gravity. Set. Okay, let's try that. Oops. This dot platform box dot set. Ignore gravity. True? Hopefully. Nope. Still doesn't have that. What if we just say ignore gravity equals true? Well, that worked. Oh, it worked, but then it got pushed down. Console.log. Platform box again. There's got to be like a static setting. Oh, is static. Okay. Is static equals true. Boom. There we go. Now we're landing halfway through the ground, which is what we want. Maybe make this a little less, like 40. That's fairly in the middle of the platform. Okay, sweet. So we got that. Now we need to concern ourselves with being able to move. So for that, we're going to use that apply force function that we found earlier, which was in here. Move force, negative move force. Yeah, that all makes sense. So in our update function, we'll say if left dot is down. We'll say this dot rogue dot apply force. Now Now the force is a vector 2, so it'll be x negative 0.01, y is 0. Now we'll just copy this entire block and we'll say the same thing, but reversed for right. Now let's try it. Hey, look at that, we're moving. And there's even a little bit of friction being applied, which is pretty nifty. Might up that a little bit. Not really at the stage yet where we're going to be playing with speeds and stuff, but for now we'll just up it a bit. Yeah, looks good to me. Last step I want to do is say make a camera controls section. We'll say this dot cameras dot main dot start follow just for now on our this dot rogue. There we go. So now we can move around on the platform. Very cool. Oh, look at that. And she even tilts when she gets to the edge. That's pretty sick. Nice. Gotta love matter physics, dude. Woo! Yeet. That's too cool. All right. Why don't we actually keep the camera controls if we're just trying to think of the best way to do this, whether we should actually move the camera and follow the character along a platform that's currently that's continuously kind of going like this and like repeating itself, or if we should just do basically the same thing but keep the camera in the place and just move the world around the player. The second way is kind of how I've done things in the past with like much older games that I worked on like a very long time ago, but the newer way would probably be better. I worry that it's going to complicate things, that's all. If anyone has any thoughts, definitely shout out in the chat, but I think for now I'm going to go with the old way just because the new way scares me. Change is scary. So we're going to actually ditch that. Put it back so it just falls like that. Okay. Actually, you know what? My main concern was that we'd be going to numbers that are way too high. Oh, no, this does kind of solve that. Okay, yeah, never mind. Just ditch this camera controls section. And just to make it look a little bit nicer while we're testing, why don't we add that sky in there? Because I saw we had a nice sky in this assets pack. Right there, I believe. So we'll copy that into here. Mark it as used. And we'll say rename as blue sky. In our boot scene, we will load it in blue sky.png. Loaded it in, no problem, good. Also get rid of that console log because we figured out a hacky way to do that. And then in our game scene, we'll say, maybe right before the layering, we'll say add the background. We'll say this.bg equals this.add.image, x and y. So it's going to be centered, but maybe we'll, I'm going to mess around with this a little bit, but we'll say x can be window.inner width divided by 2. Y in this case we'll say will be 0, and we'll change the anchor point in just a minute. We'll say blue sky is the texture. Sky. Then we'll say this.bg.set origin, 0.5 for the X, but 1 possibly for the Y. It might be 0, but we'll play around with it. Let's just see what that gives us. So far nothing, but that might be because that should be 0. Yep, that should be 0. Oh cool, it actually looks cool with the clouds like right flush with the ground. It makes it look like you're in sort of like a cloud world, but it's not necessarily what I'm going for, so I'm going to change that up a bit. But so to change that, we're going to change the scale. Say this.bg.set scale, make it way less than it is by default, 0.25. There we go. That's pretty good. And then we'll just fill in the background with whatever color that is. So to do that, we'll open it up in GIMP and just find out exactly what color that is, and we'll make the background the same color. Okay. Zoom right into the bottom to make sure we get the very last pixel. Even though I do think it goes on for a while, which is nice. Oh, that's not great. It's got a layer of 1 pixel layer of slightly transparent at the bottom. Don't love that. Probably want to change that actually, but we'll see if it actually causes a problem before we dive into changing it. So for now, we'll just select that pixel, grab that notation, and we will say, okay, we do need to bring the camera controls back because that's how you set the background color in Phaser. Camera controls, we'll say this dot set background, no, cameras dot main dot set background color 0x bleep bleep. So AC FF. See how that looks. Yeah, that one line of pixel I'm not even seeing, so we won't even bother with that. But yeah, there we go. We've got a little bit of a start to our game now. That's pretty cool. So, I guess next up we do kind of need to tackle the thorny issue of making our procedurally generated ground. That is going to be the harder part of this. But once we get through that, that's actually a lot of the mechanics for this game done, which is pretty cool. My screen just blurred out on my dashboard. Hopefully the quality didn't drop on you guys. But anyways, yeah, so you know what? I am going to use camera controls. I keep going back and forth on this, but like I should embrace the change. I shouldn't run from it. So we'll say this.cameras.main.start follow this.rogue. Now I believe we can set an offset for that somehow, and like a dead zone too, which will be really useful. Okay, so first of all, let's figure out how to set the offset. This.cameras.main.set follow offset, yes. X will be 0 because we want it to be centered on the X, I suppose. We might mess with that later. The Y will be window.inner 8 divided by 2, possibly. No, that's a bit too much. Might actually be a dead zone that I'm after here, which I don't remember off the top of my head how to do. How to set camera dead zone Phaser 3. Camera dead zone. Oh, follow sprite with camera dead zone. That's probably what I want. Yeah, this is what I want here. That's the dead zone there. Oh, this is Phaser 2. Oopsies. We want Phaser 3. Here we go. Yeah, this is more what I'm going for, I think. Oh, camera control, true. I want sprite control. Yeah, that's what we're going for. Okay. So, start follow. I don't know what that true actually means, but I'm curious about that now. Start follow. Oh, lerp X. Or no, round pixels. I don't know. Well, I'm not seeing any problems with the graphics yet, so we'll leave that alone. Set dead zone to 400 by 200. So that's just the X and Y. So we'll say this dot cameras dot set dead zone. Oh wait, no. Actually, yeah, this is probably gonna work. Set dead zone. Dead zone is only used when the camera is following a target. It defines a rectangular region within which, if the target is present, the camera will not scroll. Oh no, you know what? This is not what we want. We want something else, but it'll be in the camera examples, so let's find that. Bounds, I think that's what I want. Yeah. Follow sprite, small bounds. Let's see what this does. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Boundaries. Boundaries. Where is it? Set bounds. Here we go. Cameras not main. Set bounds. X, Y is 0, 0. So we'll say, we'll just figure this out. This dot cameras dot main dot set bounds. We'll say 0, 0. Width can be this dot platform dot display width. So it should, in theory, go along the entire platform. And then the height will be, this is maybe, there's probably an algorithmic way to get this, but we'll figure this out. Just try this dot bg dot display height and see what that does. Actually worked pretty much how I wanted it, except it's now not following, but it sort of is. It's kind of working. Kind of working. Interesting. Oh, actually, I think I know why. Because X shouldn't be 0. X should be negative this dot platform dot display width, not height, divided by 2. Let's try this out. still scrolling past it. Oop. Well, it's not quite perfect, but it's getting there. So, let's press on, shall we? Got to... No, I guess I do kind of need to... Well, am I able to just set a dead zone, like, only on the Y? Because that's sort of what I want to do. Or not a dead zone, but bounds. What did we do? 0, 0, 720. About times 2. Hate magic numbers. I don't know what these numbers mean. Hate magic numbers as I have them all over the place. Oops. I am loving these graphics though. This is gonna look real clean. Okay, so we get these camera controls sorted so that we can. Yeah, like set. I'm just gonna check if that's even a function for set bounds. Why? Probably not. This dot cameras dot main dot set bounds. If you set bounds that are smaller than the viewport. Okay. Oh, that's a thought. What if instead of... What if I did 0... Now, what was the problem when I did it this way again? Let's take a look. I think it was that I couldn't scroll all the way right. No, I can. No, it was left. Yeah, that's right. Did I scroll at all left? No. Now that's the problem. Let's say this dot matter dot world dot... What do we have? Walls. Game scene. Dot left. Yes. And then we'll say this dot matter dot world dot display width. See if this works. So we can go all the way there, but we can just keep going, which we shouldn't be able to in my mind. Let's console log what those are. Oh, they're undefined. But see, now that's interesting. When they're undefined, it looks like I can scroll infinitely on the X and Y. So what if I were to just pass in null for all the X values, not worry about the X scrolling, and just clamp it in the Y department? Right? Right? Wouldn't that work? Null. And width, null. Oops, that doesn't let me scroll at all. We'll say 0, 0, maybe? No, that's like the same as null. I really don't want to do this, but just put undefined. And it works. Super sketchy, but it works. Now I want to just try testing out these camera bounds a little bit. I don't like that I'm doing that. If I find a better way of, I'm gonna put a to-do there, find a better way of doing that than setting undefined. To-do, find a better way. Now, let's see, we'll get, yeah, so now let's just try testing it by putting the rogue all the way up. I'm gonna just say 0. Yeah, nice, so that does what I want. It doesn't scroll up further on the X, or on the Y, but it allows scrolling on the X. Wait, I wonder if there's like an easier way to do that. Set horizontal scrolling only. Phaser 3 camera. Tile sprite. In any direction? No. Okay, well, doesn't seem to be doing, it's not exactly what I'm going for, so whatever. We'll, we have something working, so we can improve upon it later, but for now, that works. We're gonna also have to add player animation at some point, but I think the next thing I wanna do is get it so that it has a bit of, just repeats this texture, or the, yeah, repeats the platform over and over to the right, but then deletes the old one so that if we go left, we'll just fall into nothing. That's my plan. So, let's do that. So I guess the first thing we want to do is make, we could actually leave platform as like a base platform. I'm gonna look up Phaser 3 matter image group. Image or group? Collision group. That's what we're going for. I feel like this is something else. this is the same thing I just looked at. Well, okay, fine. Let's look at it and see, actually read it. Hi, is there a way to use collision groups in Phaser from PhaserJS? I'm trying to create a group of sprites that collide with the player but don't collide with themselves. Thank you. Yeah, that is kind of different than what we're trying to do here. Let's see. My CPU is still pretty good. It's hot, but it's not outrageously hot. Sorry, I'm just checking in on my PC, making sure or my Mac, making sure it's not going to melt on me. So, question is, do I even need a group? I'm going to try it without a group and just see if I can do this with a little bit of witchcraft on my own. So, platform can be like the base platform. Or actually, because they're so, because they're so big, this is going to be wider than any tablet or phone screen, this entire width of this platform. So, what if we just had a platform 1 and a platform 2 and we just kept swapping their positions? I like that idea. We might have to get a little more dynamic with it in the future. But like when we start introducing different types of tiles and stuff, but just for this little demo's sake, this might work pretty well. So basically with the formula we're gonna want here, so platform box, or platform 2, that's good, platform 2 box, platform 2 display width, platform 2 display height. That really wouldn't matter actually, but seems cleaner to me. So now, platform 2, why don't we say, yeah, we'll say, oops, no, that'll be window.innerWidth, but then this one will be platform, or this dot platform dot x, sure. Oh, I did actually stagger that a bit. This dot platform dot y plus 10. Then we'll say this dot platform dot x. No, wait, yeah. Plus this dot platform. Oh wait, except it's got to be oh no, I don't need that. Okay, platform dot display width divided by 2, and the height can be the same as platform 1. So we'll say this dot, or the y rather, dot y. Now this will be the same as these two, but it'll be platform 2. Platform 2. Now let's, oh, apparently we've got an error. What's the error there, bud? Oh, right there. Whoop. Now let's see if, ooh. Okay, so for one thing, we've got like a crazy seam. That's not ideal. The seam really affects the friction. It's also positioned wrong, I believe. maybe it should be minus. Shouldn't it be plus though? I just get rid of the divided by 2. I don't know why that would work, but I have a hunch. Yeah, that did work. Okay, so now we've got a longer platform. Unfortunately, we have a seam. Doesn't seem to affect it when you're going fast. But you might not always be going fast in this game, so we're gonna need to have something set up to fix that. Don't really have any theories on how we're going to fix this theme other than like I could disable friction on the platforms maybe. So let's just console log one of the platform boxes again. Just see if we've got like a friction value. Either that or disable it on the player possibly. Yeah, friction 0.1 and friction static 0.5. So why don't we just say this.platform box dot set. No, we don't have any of the setter functions on these rectangles, which is weird, but we'll just say friction equals 0. See if that does it. If that doesn't do it, we'll try the friction static. Oh, that seems to have done it. We definitely, yeah, there's definitely no friction now. But that does solve the issue of this seam, so that's cool. And really, I don't know if the friction really made a lot of sense in the first place. We might need to lower the force we're applying now, because there's no friction to overcome. So let's do that. Set it back to 0.1. Yeah, that's a nice speed. The deceleration is a lot slower now because there's no friction on these bodies. But we could even just say else if here, and then else say this dot rogue dot set velocity x 0. No, maybe this will just work. Yeah. And we could even increase that apply force, I think. Or you know what, even having like a, this might just work better if I just use set velocity x. Going left, so it'll be negative, we'll say negative. I don't know what the scaling is in this, so it might go really slow, it might go really fast, we'll find out. The answer is slow, but not actually as crazy slow as I thought. So let's do 10 and 10. Check out how that works. Yeah, there we go. Now it's kind of like traditional video game, not a lot of... but the physics still kind of works. Like it's a little weirder on the edge now, but it is still, yeah, okay, so, and realistically we're going to be disabling the nutty ragdoll physics, or rigid body physics on the player anyway, which why don't we do that now? I know he shows how to do that in this guy's tutorial, so, where is it? It's somewhere in the set fixed rotation, that's what we want. This dot rogue dot set fixed rotation. I don't think we pass anything into that. So now we should not rotate all crazy when we get to the edges. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's that. Now, let's try and get that procedural map, the procedural map, the fake procedural map working. So for that, I think we'll need a new thing in the update function. We'll say watch for map bounds. And what I'm thinking we could do is say something like this. We'll say if, well, first of all, let's just console.log this.rogue.x. So 20 or 205, 245. Now let's console log this.platform2.x, because if it's in the center, this might work really well already. I think it is in the center. I'm looking at 118 or 1118 or 1185 for the character. 1155, 1108. Yeah, okay, that works. So now what we can do is say if this.rogue.x greater than this.platform2.x, we'll say how am I going to do this? We'll say this.platform. Okay. Basically what we're doing is we're going to move the platform behind us in front of us, and the current platform will stay the same. Or we could even, hold up, what if we just did this? This dot platform dot set position, is that a thing? Yep, set position. The X position defaults to 0. You know what, I'm not even going to use these. These platform things are weird. So we'll say X plus equals this dot platform dot display width. This dot platform box dot x plus equals this dot platform box dot display width, and we'll do the same for 1 and so we'll do the same for 1 as we do for 2, or the same for 2 as we do for 1. So basically, instead of swapping them, which would be a little bit more complicated, we're actually just pushing them forward underneath us. Now, I don't know if this is going to be noticeable in the gameplay or not. We're going to find out by testing it. But this might be a really easy solution. So let's try. And look at, oh, we do have an endless runner, although we fell through the ground, which is not ideal. Platform box. What if we just, instead of platform box dot display width, we'll just do the same that we're shifting the platforms themselves by. Let's try this. Now let's just watch the green lines underneath us to see if they disappear at any point. They do still. Ooh, and look at that. Our platform doesn't go back anymore, so that's cool. Although the, yeah, so the platform, the boxes aren't moving. The platforms themselves are, but the boxes are not. So, interesting. Let's console.log this.platform box. Just see why it's not working. Maybe it's like world X or something. Okay, right there. Oh, X is not a number. Yeah, X is not a number. It doesn't even have Y. So I can assume it's somewhere else in here. Oh, position. Okay. Okay, cool. So we'll say platform box dot position dot X. Platform 2 box dot position dot X. See if it works. Still doesn't. So weird. Maybe I just have to use set position on these guys? No, it doesn't have a set position function. Alright, to Google. Phaser 3 matter rectangle change position. Horizontal position. Oh, that's the constructor. Depth. Origin X. Scroll factor X. That's an idea. What if we just didn't let it scroll? Hell yeah, that'll make this way simpler. Okay, so get rid of those two. Now we're only dealing with the platforms. Oh, but then you're going to be able to run backwards. But, you know, we might just disable that in the controls or have the auto running like we were thinking of earlier. So let's do this. We'll say we probably only even need, oh yeah, this is way better. So instead of doing a platform box or 2 platform boxes, we'll say add platform hitbox, and we'll just say 0x. That Y can stay the same. We'll say window.innerWidth, and that height can stay the same too. And then we'll just say this dot platform dot box dot set scroll. No, it doesn't even have a set scroll factor. That thing. Scroll factor equals 0. I don't know. Oh, scroll factor X. Scroll factor X equals 0. Save that. And it totally didn't work. Okay, let's just console log it again and see what we're dealing with. Giving us a bit of trouble here, but we'll get it. Yeah, scroll factor X, 0. Except it doesn't seem to be respecting that, so that sucks. Also doesn't seem to be actually positioning it right if I'm assuming all else equal, which I shouldn't probably. I mean, like, absolute worst case scenario, we could probably just get away with. Yeah, it doesn't even have a set origin function. Frick, this is annoying. Does it have a game object that I can work with? Nope, that's null. Center of mass. Oh, center offset? Offset. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is working right, and it actually should just be window.innerWidth divided by 2. Now it seems to be okay. I mean, oh yeah, okay. So it is actually, that's better. We just need to get the scroll factor to work. So, how are we gonna go about that, I wonder? Say user 3 scroll factor matter. Maybe it's somewhere else in here again. So I've got scroll factor X, but I don't have scroll factor Y. So maybe... Parent. That doesn't really give me much. Let's see, what else do we have? Phaser 3 matter rectangle. Scroll factor. Not giving me much in here, is it? This is tough. Where did I get this rectangle code from? Oh, interesting. He's using a body rectangle. Maybe that's a different type of object. So I'm just using a phaser.matter.add, whereas he's getting matter physics, native matter modules. Oh, but then if it's a native matter module, it probably wouldn't have a scroll factor at all. But let's just test it. So we'll get, comes out of physics. We'll say const matter equals physics. Then we're gonna have to say matter.matter. Or maybe we won't. We'll just say as matter is whatever. Say matter.matter. Const test flat equals. So he's getting body and bodies. So we'll get bodies. Const bodies equals matter. Matter game object. I wonder. Come back to that. If this doesn't work, we'll come back to that. Oh, that's how you do it, you know? Whatever. Okay. Bodies.rectangle. Rectangle. I'll just get all this stuff. And then he's saying his sensor is true, but I don't really need to worry about that. Let's just console log it and see what it actually is. Interesting. Killed the first console. Oh, no, the first one is that one. Okay. It looks basically the same. Yeah, it looks, I think this is the same as, yeah, Drat. Okay, that's a bummer. That's a drag. So that is the same, I think. That won't help us. So we're back to square one again. Basically, we're just trying to find how to set scroll factor to not be a thing on here. Parent parts. Just another thing. Still doesn't have scroll factor. Well, it does, but that's because we're setting it. So if I didn't put that, it wouldn't have it. Right. I just have a very, very weird out there theory. What if I set time scale to 0? Wouldn't that, in theory, make it not move at all? Might be another hack solution, but no, it doesn't. Oh, because it's not moving, the camera's moving. Yeah, that wouldn't work. See, this is one of the things that probably would have been easier if I went with my more rudimentary camera implementation. But I do like where we're going with this, so I'm not going to go back to that. How's my CPU? 30% still good. Alright, so scroll factor 0, baby. We gotta get this working. We either gotta get this working or be able to change the position of it. But both of those things are giving us problems. Let's see if we can find the position in here. I know there was a property for position, if I recall. Right here, position. Which obviously works when you create it, but does it work? Precision impulse. What the hell is that? Just want to try something else here. What if I just continuously set the position X to S dot one box dot position dot X equals this dot row dot X. Worth a shot? Still doesn't move it. Move rectangle matter phaser 3. Wait a minute. Is it because I'm setting it to static? Oh my god. I wonder if it's because I'm setting it to static. What was that other thing? There was ignore gravity, right? Ignore gravity. That's true. Oh right, but then it gets pushed down. Oh, it is because I'm setting it to static. Okay, interesting. So because it's static, this whole scroll factor thing doesn't work. But if we can get a way to make it so that it's immovable, I wonder if that's a property. Inverse mass. Ignore gravity. But here, wait, before we even do that, let's just... Oh, we are already seeing scroll factor is 0. What if I get rid of this? Oh yeah, so scroll factor still doesn't work. But the repositioning does, so that's a step in the right direction. We can always just jerry-rig it with sort of 2 of them again, instead of having one that always repositions or doesn't move. But we got to make it so you can't push it. Because right now, if you see what happens, the ground gets pushed down by our player. But setting it to is static makes it so we can't move it on the x-axis, but we just want to make it, we basically want it static on the y-axis. Let's gravity scale. Gravity scale dot y equals if I do that? Basically sets it to gravity 0, but it's still pushable. Just a random thought here. Set fixed rotation? I don't know. No, it doesn't even have that function. Okay. Restitution. What is restitution? Phaser 3 matter restitution. Don't know how to spell that. Wow, I got it. Bounce. Interesting. Phaser 3 matter immovable object. Oh, immovable. Oh, that's arcade. Yeah, immovable and static. Here we go. Static bodies are completely fixed in one position unless you explicitly refresh them. They have no velocity or properties related to movement. Okay. Meanwhile, an immovable dynamic body can freely move around, but collisions with other bodies will not alter its velocity. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. The question is, can I do it on a rectangle? I mean, let's try. Sorry, let's keep ignore gravity, and let's also say the stop platform box dot immovable. It's not a property, so it probably won't work, but let's just try. Like, I'm almost wondering if we should just use like an empty sprite. If that's a thing I can do. Use an empty but then I had problems with changing the body, but maybe that's something I can figure out. PhaserJS body size. Picture representation. So he's using a separate rectangle as well. Oh, set existing body. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. So let's go, yeah, let's just do it like this. I'm just wondering if this is going to screw with me now with this whole static thing. Oh, but no, I guess I can probably set it to immovable. Yes, okay. Just confirm I can do that. Desktop platform up here. Desktop platform dot set body dot immovable. Yeah, set immovable. There it is. Pardon me. So let's see. We'll say switch it back to a this dot matter dot add. Okay. Dot matter dot add. Platform 2 dot body set movable true. This would actually be nice because then the body and its body will actually be coupled. In theory. In theory. Platform box is equal to this. Now we got to switch this up a bit because we're doing it differently now. We're saying, well, that's actually the same, but yeah, that's fine. Window.innerWidth, that's not going to work anymore. That has to be this dot platform dot display width. Just gonna get rid of the second platform for now. Okay. Ooh, platform dot body dot set immovable is not a function. Are you serious? Come on. Okay, let's see. All right, we're close. I feel like we're close. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this dot. Okay. Actually, we'll get rid of the. Wow, I have two calls to set camera down, so okay. Get rid of that too. Okay. I guess we'll keep that one. Yeah. Okay. Now, don't need that anymore. Set static, set there is no set immovable. Even though it's auto-filling on the body for me, that's so annoying. Oh, set body, set existing body. Okay, so what if we do that? We'll set the scale, we'll make a platform body. Alright. So, let's see here. about 2 hours left on my stream here. I bet you we can get a lot done here. If we can just get over this hurdle, we'll get a lot more in this game. So let's see. We'll go... box that I can grab. Okay, so I'm not even gonna mess with any of that yet. Or that. Yeah, because in theory we won't have to do anything with the scroll factor of this object. So now we'll say, we can just make this a const probably. This dot platform dot set existing body. Box. Oh, and you know what? Now I'm kind of getting why we would make a reference to this, where we would say import. Oh wait, hold on. So import physics. Const m. How do you do it in this? I'm gonna do it cleaner this time. Quit this W. Okay, so matter is m equals physics const matter equals m. Now we'll say equals bodies dot rectangle. So we'll say up here maybe const bodies equals matter, right? Yeah. He's using body. Oh, he's making a compound body, so we don't need to worry about that because we're not creating anything fancy. We just need a rectangle. So we can say equals bodies dot. Oops, that's platform. We do want that. Instead, we'll say bodies dot rectangle. Yeah, we're doing this right. See what this looks like. It's still false, so we don't know. But if we say this dot platform dot set dot body, see if this works now. Come on, please. I have been brewing a total backup case of how we can do this if this still doesn't work. So that works. And it did actually set the body as an internal body, so that's cool. It's a slight improvement. But I bet you we still can't move it. So let's just... Hell, we can probably get away with just using one frickin' body for this, but let's just try it. Or one platform. Let's try. Well, oh, but hey, we can move it. That's cool. Okay. Okay, not sure why we can move this, but we couldn't move a rectangle, but like when it's static, but hell, I'll take it. Okay, so add platform 1. Do the same for platform 2. Now we want this to be plus desktop Let me just say what do we have before? Let's just not delete those comments because those will be useful now. 2, we have platform1.x plus its display height, or width rather. Now we have platform, okay, I see, so it doesn't really matter, but we just set it to the same, so this dot platform dot y. Excuse me again. Scale it down again. Oh yeah, call it platform 2, scale it down. Platform 2 box. Oh yeah, and then we can also replace this by saying this dot platform dot x. We'll say this dot platform 2 dot x. Ooh, my Mac looks being a little rocket ship right now. Still 31% CPU usage, and my frame rate's looking decent on OBS, and the bit rate's looking okay on Twitch, so I think the stream's coming through okay. However, onward with this. I still don't get that at all, but whatever. As long as it works, right? So, do platform 2 for the second body. And what do we call them? Instead of box, we'll call it body. Platform 2. You know when you stare at words so long they start to look like they're misspelled? That's what I'm getting from this code right now. Platform 2. Let's see how this turns out. Oop. The Y is different, that's weird. Hey, that's actually kind of cool. Look at that, it's now continually, that's kind of neat. It's working. But like, hey, that's cool. The Y is just changing, which is odd, but that's okay, we can fix that. Just figure out why that's happening. This platform, oh. Would it be because of this plus 10? On that first one and see what happens. Yeah, that looks to be working to me. And you run off the edge if you go backwards. Sick though, we've got an endless runner. Hey! Alright, that's awesome. I think the next thing I want to get working is have it so that the sky kind of follows us repeatedly in a parallax fashion. And we're going to do that a little bit differently because anything we don't need to interact with the physics, we don't have to do all the physics bodies and stuff for. We can actually use something called a Phaser 3 tile sprite. Phaser 3 tile sprite parallax. Just want a quick and dirty tutorial for this. I feel like this guy's using the same if not the same, very similar graphics to me, but that's okay. I'll get over it. Add tile sprays. So he's got 3 levels. We only need to deal with 1 right now.
How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you?
We'll say, so add tile spray, start game. Huh. Do we have a this.game? What are we doing in the background? Here. Console.log, start game. Let's just see if that actually exists for us. I think it will. Yep, game. Okay. Cache.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice.
We'll say game.add.
I know my limits. You can break me down, but
this dot sky equals this dot add. No, hold on. This dot game dot add dot
quite some time now.
file spray.
And I've been counting days to get away.
0 on the X. No, what do we do for this? Window.inner width divided by 2. Window.inner width divided by 2. 0 for the X. What is he doing here? He's saying this dot game dot cache, this dot game dot cache dot get image, mountain bias height, and he's saying just giving it the actual texture. It's blue sky in our case. Let's just see if this works so far. Undefined. Okay, so let's just get rid of game. I just did this. Inner height. Image data. Source height is 0. Oh, it is actually a height, not X and Y. Right? No, it wouldn't be. That would be the Y. Oh, yeah. Width. Height. Display height of undefined. Yes. Okay. Now let's see if we can set the scale on this guy. Yes, good. 0.25. So this sky set origin 5, 0. Whoa. Doesn't look right. Shit. Still moving at the physics anyways. Oh, we haven't set scroll factor on it. Also, ooh, that's not right. What happened to our tile 1? Or our tile 2, I guess. Ooh, something messed up with the... Oh, maybe it's just hidden behind it. This dot sky, that was set at 0. Wow, no, it's actually messed up. Okay, what's going on here? There's a few things going on. I'm wondering if it's worth using a tile sprite at this point, or if we should just go back to using it as an image. Because like here, if we were to comment this out, put this back in, say BG, that back in. Now we've got our sky the way we want it. The only problem is it doesn't continue. I could even just set the scroll factor to 0 and just let the sky not move at all. Let's just see what that looks like for now and see if it looks okay. 0. So there we go. That actually doesn't look terrible. If we set it to something really low, this is kind of a sketchy way of doing parallax. I've done it in the past, but like, it's a little sketch. It's like, see, it looks good. It looks great. The problem is we're still going to get to the end of it eventually. Unless we do something clever to repeat it. Oops, the same way we're doing our tiles. Well, maybe we can do that, you know, because I don't know that... Oh, DD. What's up, Emily? Sorry, I just saw that now. Yeah, so, not bad, not bad. Just gotta get it so, like, you know, normally a tile sprite is the way you want to do parallax, but because I'm messing with the scaling and the positioning of it, it is getting a little dicey. So maybe it does make sense to just repeat it the same way we're doing it now. And just say like, so we'll have BG1 and BG2, I guess. BG1, BG2. Then we'll say this.bg.x plus this.bg.display width. Now let's see if there's 2. Looks like there's 2, yep. doesn't seem like there's a seam, so that's good. Alright, so there's no seam, so that's cool, that worked. And the camera bounds can still just be based off the first one. And basically we just have to do something like this. So we'll say watch for sky bounds. And we'll say if, how are we gonna track this, I wonder? We could say the rogue X plus half the screen width to get the right boundary of the screen in global space. So we'll say if, or doesn't camera have a bounds like this dot cameras dot main dot bounds? Get bounds, yeah. Console log this and see what it gives us. Feel like it'll be a vector X, vector Y. Take X, Y. Yeah, it's not updating though. We were dealing with now? Rectangle. Yeah, that is not a number. Weird. The bottom. No, left is undefined. Right is not a number. Center is not a number. Center Y is a number. Phaser 3 global world. World coordinates, yeah. Camera.world view. World view. X. Oops. Drag. Just console log. Oh, dot main dot world view dot y. So let's try that. Hey, 0. Hey, it's working. Perfect. That's what we want. So if the world view X is greater than, let's see, I guess this dot, basically the same logic, this dot bg2 dot x, then we'll say this dot bg dot x plus equals this dot bg dot display width, this dot bg2 dot x plus equals dot bg2 dot display width. See if this works. See if we have an endless scrolling parallax sky now, or if it still cuts off. Oh, it's already cut off. Okay, that was fast. Oh, but maybe... Let's just console log both these and see what they are. Wow, it's not even... Oh, yes, it is. Okay, so 1100. There. The same logic doesn't quite work. Funner. I'll be right back, team. I'm just gonna grab a drink. Uno momento. One sec. All right, back to it. So, just a little bit left in there. All right. So we're close on this too. It might just be that the world view. Wait. Did we set the origin to center? Yeah, we did. Okay. I wonder if this should be divided by 2. Don't know. Just spitballing ideas here. Well, it was a bit different. What happened there? So it was past 1716. I wonder if the scroll factor is affecting it. Let's just change the logic back to how it is, how it was with the existing one. And then maybe because if I apply that scroll factor, maybe that's a way around this issue. So let's see. Whoa. Oh, right, because I've got it on one but not the other. Oops. Yeah, so that totally works when the scroll factor isn't applied. So it's the scroll factor that's throwing it for a loop. Okay. So I feel like we either have to times it by 9, or 0.9, or by 0.1. So, 0.1, let's try this first. Be 10% of that value, which I feel like will not work. I feel like it's going to be the other option we were looking for. Yeah. 0.9. Let's try that. Ah, shit. Still bouncing it too far. Gotta figure out what's going on here. Oh, we are doing the cameras. Worldview X. Although I guess it would be the same as the Rogue X, right? What if we try changing that? Just give it a shot. Or we could try doing it a completely different, like slightly completely different way, and set this to 0, 0. That's putting it right in the center. Good. Now we'll say 0. Now it starts it right at the beginning. So now if we go backwards, it goes away that way. Now if we update this logic, we'll say cameras.main worldview x plus window.inner width divided by 2 is greater than bg2.x. And we just shimmy them along. Maybe. Same problem, damn it.
And we're flying so close to where we belong. And we're trying
Okay.
somewhere new. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean.
So right now what we're saying is if the right bound of the screen is greater than, oh, maybe the first background's x plus, oh no, the first background's x plus the second, plus the width would be the second background's x, so that works. So let's say, instead of actually moving it, we'll just console.log. See when it actually kicks in. Okay, yeah, right there. So I feel like that's happening too early, because we're not even at the edge of the first image yet, I don't think. We'll be at the edge of it around here, is what I would think. Oh, so maybe we have to adjust it in here. Times 0.1 or 0.9. No, maybe 0.1 or 1.1. So many options. Okay, so that's still too soon, but what about 1.9? Still seems fast. What does the image actually look like? Let's take a peek. Yeah, no, it's got a bit of padding beside the last cloud, so that's still coming in too soon. I think, yeah. Unless we've got this shifted over too far now. What happens if we just do this? world X greater than. No, it's still coming in too soon. Okay, what if we do rogue.x? Actually, let's, before we do anything more with testing the differences here, let's actually test and see if it is the same. It is not the same, so there you go. Still coming in way too soon. Okay, so what's up? Let's console.log both these values and see if they're giving us anything unusual. $205 is the rogue X. Which I guess is the center of the screen. Now we've passed 1845. Interesting. Would we have to modify the rogue X? Whoa, this is getting a bit over my head, but we'll get there. Okay, what if I did this? Rogue X times 0.1. So then it's like a slowed down version of the rogue X. Instead of a big version of. This is looking promising. Guy should be repeat. Yeah, there's the repeat. Okay, interesting. This dot bg dot x plus equals this dot bg dot display width g2 dot x plus equals this dot bg2.display width. Watch it all fall to pieces, but hey, fingers crossed, this might work. Watch those clouds, people. Oh, I saw it just. It was close, though. It was very close. Maybe we have to times that by 0.9. I'm going to try timesing that by 0.9 because I think that was very close. Funny guy. Says he hates magic numbers, then uses a million magic numbers everywhere. There's always time to clean up your code later, am I right? I think we, oh, it shifted. Either that, or get another theory, times 0.9. feel like this is more confusing and might not work as well. Actually, this probably, well, maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll see. No, that worked even less. God, that's so close. I'm missing something about how this is working. Something about how this is working is just not quite there. Hey, Viable Clan member, what's up, man? Has it been a long time? I feel like you tuned into one of my lightly recent, not so recent streams. How you doing, man? Sorry if I'm delayed on the chat, by the way. I'm gonna work on getting a little beep to play so that I can know someone messaged me. But yeah, dude, how you doing? Right now what we're trying to do is get a scrolling parallax background to go with our infinite scrolling level. And we're really close. We've, like, if I turn that back off, turn these back on, that and that. Oops. Space there because I'm anal. That and that. Then you'll notice when we get when the first number here passes the second number, aka when one of our tiles is when we're past the end of our first tile, I think. You see it shifts very slightly to the left. It might even, I hate that I'm doing this, but I might just play with magic numbers here. Even worse than using magic numbers is just randomly playing with magic numbers, but it's so close. No, that's a bigger shift. What if I did that times 0.9 and add it plus 0.8? I don't know. I'm just shooting fish in a barrel here at this point. And if I really can't get it, we can just move on and do something a little more interesting because it is very close. And maybe we'll have a brainwave on it in the future. Yeah, that was a big shift too. If I just did this, I don't know. And I'll add a big to-do comment. If we make this work with random magic numbers, I'll add a big to-do comment to figure out why they work. No, still a shift. That makes me wonder, like, should I just delete them? Because, like, in my mind, this is how it would work in the first place. So, like, what happened when we did this? I forget now. Because, like, the shift seemed to be getting smaller and smaller the more closer to the straight value we got. So let's see. I feel like it shifts the other way. Oh no, it's... Yeah, there's just that tiny little bit of white at the edge. Did I... bg.x plus bg.displaywidth 0 0 x plus, so 0 plus width, and the origin is 0 on the x. So we're trying to figure out what the difference is, like that little difference between what, the left edge of the screen and the... Wouldn't be because of that, would it? No, I don't know. Hold on. So let's see. Let's just watch that little jump again on the sky. So watch when we're scrolling, the sky goes, and eventually there will be a little clip of white on the left side of the screen. just need to figure out what that difference is. And then we can probably figure out why it's happening. There. There was one. Let's see another one. And also by seeing another one, we can kind of confirm that this mechanic is actually working, so that's a good thing too. That never hurts. I think it just did one and I missed it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And skip right there. So it's a very small skip. It's like 50 pixels or something. Like 50 to 100 pixels on the left side is off. Now I don't remember why we added this, but I'm gonna just try taking it out. I think that was to account for the scroll factor. Yeah, because that's where it does the huge jump. What if I times this by 0.1 as well? Nope. Definitely not that one. This guy just disappears again. That's great. Or, hold on, what if I did minus times 0.1? Just take that little chunk off, maybe. This might work. Go, we're getting to the edge. No, it's big now. What happens if we do plus that? Okay, we're getting to the edge, getting to the edge. It's this little bit of padding right here between the two clouds. That's how you can tell where the edge is. No skip. Guys, we did it. Yes, we have a parallax cloud effect, a really ghetto rigged parallax cloud to go with our infinitely generated right direction platforms. Hell yeah. We got it, son. All right. Cool. What do we want to do next? I want to look at the sprites again and see what other things we have that we can use. Okay, so we got some cool backgrounds. We've got that cool grassy foreground. I quite like that. And it looks seamless to me. That's nice. What else we got? More hills, more hills. Trees, we could start adding random trees. More trees, more trees. That's our sky. What else? What do we got in this one? I feel like this is a different platform, kind of. It's very similar to the first one, though. A little bummed about that, but whatever. Maybe we can mix and match. Oh, I see. It's got a PNG of all of them. That's kind of nice. Yeah, I guess this is just 2 asset packs, really. So, let's see. Like, we could add trees, I don't know. At some point we're gonna have to add, like, why don't we, here, I know what we should do. For now, let's ditch the keyboard controls and add some touch controls, because this is gonna be a touchscreen game, so we can kill the helper for the arrow keys, and then we'll say just constantly this dot rogue dot set velocity x is, Let's do 5 so it's a bit slower. There we go. Now we're constantly moving in the right direction. And I'm thinking the actual controls of this game are going to need a bit of thought. So that's one thing. Why don't we add some animation too so it looks a little nicer? So for that, we're going to have to open up the character's asprite file again, which was in sprites, rogue.asprite. So we've got a bunch of animations here, which I love. Okay, so dash is like a one-off quick dash. Run is probably the one we want. Yeah, that's cool. So run. So we want to play the run animation. So up here we'll say this.rogue.play. Key is run. Repeat is -1. Oops. There we go. Look at that. Now we're running. Cool. Getting there. I think we also want to address setting a body for the character, because right now, as you can see, the character's body is like huge. And we're going to want to be able to crash into stuff and knock things over and all that. So really we're going to want this character's body to be a bit less intense. And I'm wondering if we should use apply force as well instead of velocity, because that might help us when we're crashing into stuff. But you know what, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Just going to move this up here because I feel like that's going to be a helpful helper that will be useful everywhere. So on that note, we'll create a body for the character. We'll say this, or no, we'll say const rogue body equals bodies.rectangle. This dot rogue dot x. This dot rogue dot y. Then we're gonna say, so because right now our character is huge, like in this huge box, that's not gonna work for us. Just trying to see if I can see any little discrepancies with this moving method we're doing, but I think we're good. So yeah, XY is fine. Width will have to be like, might just have to hard code these honestly. Or you know what we could do? I've never tried this approach, but what if in asprite, because everything in asprite works in pixels, we zoom right in on our character, create like what we want our box effectively to be. So probably about that. That is, what is that? 57, so let's say 60. Oh no, is that the X and Y? That's the X and Y. Oh yeah, 22, so let's say, sure, 20, or maybe 25, is that too big? 25 is probably good, so 25 by 36. I'm just reading these values from the bottom of the screen here. So 25 for the width, and then, what was it, 36, so let's say 35, and instead of, maybe the rogue's Y, which will be its center Y, meaning that pink point, the Y of that, it'll be that plus like half to bring it down to the bottom, possibly. Let's try that. So plus this dot rogue dot Y divided by 2. Oh no, not y. Dot display height. Oh, and that's another thing. We have to account for the scale, which is times 1.5. So let's say 25 times 1.5 and 35 times 1.5. So there we go. That should be our body, hopefully. Then we'll just say this dot rogue dot set existing body rogue body. See if this works. Hey, it's pretty. Whoa! Love that. Terrific. Just roll through the entire level. That's epic. That'll do me fine. Yeah. Pro gamer move right there. Alright. Okay, let's see. Let's figure this out. So I think because we have to set the fixed rotation on the body, maybe. Or we have to do it after. Let's try doing it after first. Yeah, okay, so that worked. So now we just need to position it better. So instead of plus, maybe it's minus. No, that's didn't actually make any difference. Why would that not make a difference? That's bizarre. Why on earth would that not make a difference? I don't get that at all. So like the X and Y are irrelevant for this? Is that what we're saying? Let's try just setting them both to 0 and see what happens. If that's the case, yeah. That's weird. Okay, so set existing body to that. What happens if we just say rogue body dot set origin 0.5? Oops, doesn't have set origin. Okay. Ooh, also I saw a little clip right at the start there. That's okay. That's pretty minor. Also, I'm so done working on that sky. We've got it as good as I want it right now. Oh, body offset. I feel like that's a thing. Okay. So we'll say this dot rogue dot set body. What is this? Damn it, VS Code. Set body off. No, okay. Body dot set offset. Yeah, there we go. So X is fine. Y we want by like minus this dot rogue dot display height divided by 2. See if that works. Fine, it's not a thing. What if I apply it to this, maybe? Rogue body dot set offset? I don't know. No, that's not a function. Okay, now I'm just shooting fish in the dark again. Hold on. So Phaser 3 matter sprite body offset. Offset in sprites versus matter physics objects. That's an issue, but let's take a look. What else we got? Body adjusting sprite collider offset after scaling a sprite, maybe. Yeah. Oh. Interesting. There's all this this is fixed in 3.30 in the master branch. It will now set origin to match XY offset of the body, but adjust it to cases like this where the image is not central. You need to supply the offset values to matter. Okay, this is interesting. What's this? So he's adding the sprite and he's giving it this configuration here at the end. He's giving it null and then a configuration, so I probably need that. Oops. So frame string, that's what's null. Now options is what we're specifying now. So shape, I'm not even gonna mess with that. However, render sprite x offset, y offset. Let's do x offset 0, y offset, just leave it that and see if it does anything. Might have done something. Nope, didn't do nothing. Damn it. Come on, Phaser. I just want to adjust the body's offset. Why is that so hard? Again, another super hacky solution that I'm not even going to do would be to just move this collider for the thing up, but then if we wanted to actually collide with any objects, it wouldn't make sense, so that doesn't work. So never mind, scratch that hack solution. We've already got enough of those in this game, and it's been a total of 3 hours, and we've got so many hacky solutions already. Let's see. What else can we do here? So this doesn't seem to do nothing for me. Just a random shot in the dark here. Let's console. Actually, you know what? Let's refer to that modular tutorial again. Maybe he's doing something here. No, he's just setting the existing body scale fixture. Wait, he's setting the scale on the sprite after. I wonder if that does anything. Although I am accounting for that in theory in here, but let's get rid of all this, and then maybe we don't have to account for it in such a hacky way. That would be cool. Okay, so yeah, that removes the need for a hacky solution to that, but it still doesn't fix the problem. So a little better, but anyway. Yeah. But his just lines up in the center, whereas mine doesn't. Oh, but he is adjusting the sensors. The rectangle he's just leaving as, yeah, 0, 0 for the width and height. Right here, he's saying width and height of the rectangle is 0. He's scaling down the width by 40%, and then he's just leaving the height the same. He's applying a camphor, which we don't really need to worry about right now. I'm just going to keep this simple at the beginning. I don't really think we're going to be interacting with edges too much in our endless side scroller. So let's see, what else can we do here? Why is that? Why is the sprite's graphics offset? I'll just keep asking my computer that and eventually it'll tell me, right? That's how that works. Right, that's what I was going to do. I was going to console.log the rogue and just see what, oops, this dot rogue. Just see what is available to us. So matter sprite, here we go. Provoke sprite. Display height, blah blah blah. So we've got all these set functions. Set post pipeline. Do we have a body? And that is our rectangle body, which makes sense. What happens if I did that? What if I did, so after applying the body, we'll say this dot rogue dot body dot y plus equals this dot rogue dot display height divided by 2. Or if we just shift the body down, nothing. Bastard. Okay. Let's also get rid of all those console logs for the sky because we don't need that anymore. Oh wait, hold on. Was it body.y or was it body.position.y? Aha. Let's say console log this dot rogue. So we've got body bounds blah 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 blah. Yeah, y not a number. Also interesting that it's not a number, but oh, because I did plus equals. Okay, we're getting somewhere. There is a position, right? I'm not crazy. Here we go. I mean, I am crazy, but that's for another time. Dot position dot y. Whoa. Lol. What the hell happened there? It actually looked like it was centered. Hang on. Frick. What? Why is it... What? What? Okay, well, obviously that doesn't work, but I'm commenting it out because it did do something interesting and unexpected. So what's going on here? Also has my CPU. 32, not bad. Okay, so what's happening here? What is happening? Why? I'm gonna just try messing with the position again, even though I'm pretty sure this does nothing. Just go to like 100, see if it makes a difference. No. No difference. What happens if I set you to something different? Nothing. Literally nothing. Okay, that's weird. Oh, interesting. Oh, so it's like the body is now setting the position. Yeah, the body position is now setting the position of the sprite, which I suppose makes sense. And also makes sense why changing this doesn't do anything. Because it does do something, but it doesn't shift the body relative to the sprite, it just shifts the whole sprite. I keep looking through these forum posts. Oh. This guy seems to be doing what I'm looking to do. Okay. So he's saying sprite.body.offset. Do we have that? Sprite.body offset. No, we don't. This must be for a different physics engine then. Bollocks. Center offset. So it's currently the center offset is 17.5. Let's try what happens if we change that. Keep that actually. Let's say this dot rogue dot body dot center offset. No, not center of mass. Center offset dot y plus equals 10. Still nothing. Oh man. Nothing worse than like when you just keep trying to debug stuff and nothing changes. Display origin X and Y. Okay. Display origin? See what that does. Is that body? No, that's actually just the sprite. Set display origin. What kind of number is it expecting? So they're pixels, so 71 is the X, so we'll leave that as 71. 56 is the Y, so we'll change that to like 100. Or let's change it to like something stupid, like 200. Oh, yes! There it is, we found the function. So by default it was what? Display origin, that's what we're looking for. So display origin Y is currently 56, so we'll say what if I just do 0? Pushes it further away. 100. I'm just gonna guess at a few numbers here until I get something close. It's pretty close already. 90. That's too far. 95. That looks bang on to me. Excellent. All right, now we can start spawning some stuff that we can crash. Or maybe let's do some controls and then we can do some stuff that we can crash into. That I think makes sense because then we can at least control how we crash into the stuff. All right. Hell yeah, we finally got it. That's awesome. I'm stoked. Alrighty. So now we gotta kind of think about what the control should be. I guess for now, let's just make it like tap to jump. That's easy. So let's see here. I guess this doesn't have to go in the update function either, does it? We can probably put this here. It only has to get set once, yeah. Ooh, no, it does have to get set more than once. Interesting. Okay, weird. Something a little different about matter physics, perhaps. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll just say console.log this dot rogue dot velocity dot body dot velocity dot y. Just see if we're dealing with a sensible number or not. Yeah, 0. Yay. So we'll say watch for tap to jump. So if we need to say, we'll get the pointers in a second. So if that is equal to 0 and pointer 1 or active pointer. I feel like active pointer's a thing too. Const, or we'll say this dot input dot active pointer. Yeah. Const active pointer equals that guy. Because this is going to be a one-handed operation. This is going to be, you only need to use one finger to play the game. Oops, not action pointer. Active pointer dot is down. So if the active pointer is pressed down and our velocity is 0, our y velocity is 0, we'll say, what was it at the start? It was positive when we were going down. So we'll say this dot rogue set velocity y negative 200. That's probably huge, but we'll see. Can't jump when we're falling. Good. Yeet. Are we ever gonna fall down? Maybe not. Negative 10. Let's try that. There we go, and we got a jump. Doink. 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 Excellent. Now I want to make it so that the animation is different when we are in the air versus when we're like if we're jumping, if we're falling, or if we're running. So we'll say animation logic. We'll say if this dot rogue dot velocity y is less than or equal to less than 0. And we'll say it is equal to 0. We'll play the run animation, so that'll be this guy. Play the run animation. Else if this is greater than 0, that means we're falling. And then otherwise, if it's less than 0, it means we're going up, so we're jumping. Alright. So basically, we just have to plonk these guys in and get the right animations, which we have in Sprite. So we've got idle, run, jump, fall. Yeah, so jump. Okay. I feel like there's a double jump with this sprite. I feel like that's a thing. Double jump, yeah. That's a bit dodgy though, because we can't really loop that one. Can we? Yeah, it doesn't really loop too well. Let's maybe switch back to, let's just take a look at the normal jump. It's not going to be as flashy, but it's still cool. Still a cool jump animation. That works for me. So jump and fall with capital letters. That's all we're looking for. We'll say fall. And we'll say jump. All right, save that. Let's take a look. Yeah, there we go. We're falling. Oop, but now we're... oh, because we don't have ignore if running. True and true. Or ignore if playing, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Doosh. Yeah. Boom. Got our little character. We can run, we can jump, and we can fall. Lovely. All right. That's fun. So we got some basic controls working. What else can we do now? I guess now we can maybe add some things to collide with. I'm wondering if they should be collectibles or if they should be things that we can knock over, like structures kind of. Or perhaps holes in the ground that we have to jump over. No, I don't know if this game's gonna have holes in the ground. I think maybe we should just stick with collecting stuff. Oh, holes? Holes, says Emily? Okay, alright. Holes in the ground, eh? 3 holes. Interesting. Interesting choice of number. This is all I will say on the matter. Easy. Alright, so Emily votes holes. I think we can do that. Maybe we can do something with our map boundary where we're checking here if we've passed the platform 2. That might be dicey actually. Hold on. How did we do this in the first place? We had if the rogue passes the, I guess that would be the left bound of the second platform, which makes sense. Then we increase the first platform's X by its width and the second one. So we're just moving, yeah, so when we pass the second one, we move them both so that like an equal amount so that they're still in front of us. Which makes sense, but is going to make it complicated if we want to add gaps between that. Or actually, will it? Will it now? Hang on a minute. Let's think about this. What if we just did this? Just as a start, we'll say plus math.random times 100. So a random gap between 0 and 100 between the first and second instance. So let's try this and see what happens. We're going good so far. No holes, no holes, no holes. Still no holes. Oh, but it's because we're never actually getting to the end of the second one, are we? So maybe... Oh, but we're halfway. That's the thing, is it happens right when we hit that seam. Maybe we need to introduce a third platform to get this working. Also just want to take a quick peek at our graphics and see if we've got anything that might be useful for adding like a little bit of pizzazz to the edge of our platforms. Maps, landscape constructor set. Look, do we have anything? I wonder. No, it's just the flat edged one. That's a bummer. You know, it probably wouldn't be too hard to actually make one ourselves, but like it won't look terrible. It could look better in my mind. Ooh. Uh-oh. What's going on now? Oh, it must be because of that random number we added, maybe. But I saved it and uh-oh, so we might have some problem with our running logic here. Just gonna let her run for a while and see what happens. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she was falling while she was standing on the ground, so that didn't make any sense. This might be one of those ones that we just have to keep an eye on, I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. What's going on here? Oh, the velocity must not be exactly 0. Let's take a look at the velocity and figure this one out. This might be the last bug we solve for this stream, guys, because got about 28 minutes left. Oops. This. Okay, so 0, 0, 0. Now let's watch and see if it starts flickering around a bit. That's a bummer. I thought this was ironclad. Yeah, there. Ooh. It's like a cray-cray number, too. With the E's and stuff. Uh-oh. Yikes. Why on earth would that be? Okay, maybe this won't be the one, the stream where we're gonna solve this. This looks like a thorny issue, indeed. Why are we seeing, because what does that E even mean? It means it's like a dramatically small number, I think. Like dramatically small or dramatically large, I guess. And then it seems to reset itself and be okay again after a while. Then it freaks out. And it resets itself. Oh, and it is when we go over the edges still. Interesting. Those edges are giving us a lot of trouble. I hate to do this, but what if we just set that to a loose equals? That might be yet another dirty solution to this. Nope, still breaks. Right at 1700 it looks like. Oh man, that must be something to do with like the phaser or the matter physics or something, like the matter gravity or something must be like getting to a point where it's so high or so low that it starts doing something. Ooh, okay, hold on. Here's another super ghetto solution for you guys, but what if we just set the velocity y to 0 when it is 0? Super pointless, but not pointless. This seriously might actually fix it. Oops. Let's just console log it again just to watch that number and see if we pass it and it's okay. I bet you this will fix it. Because I'm just literally resetting. Can we still jump though? That's the question. Yes, we can. Okay, that's good. So now let's just watch this, and if it goes over 1700 to 1000 on the repeats, we might be in business. We're at 700, 800, 900, 1000. All right. Toe tapping predicaments, indeed. Oh, it's still doing it. No. Why? 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 Damn, I thought that would be an excellent ghetto solution to this. Okay, here's another thought. Can we reset the gravity somehow? Let's just look up matter. Phaser 3 gravity getting too high. Disable mass/weight to prevent fall through other bodies. Okay, so that is effectively what we're trying to do. Oh, this is arcade. No, I don't want arcade. I want matter. Okay, let's just look up matter phaser 3 reset gravity. This seems sketchy, but or like, because my theory about what's happening here is that because the gravity's pushing her down for so long, that really doesn't make any sense. Like, my theory doesn't really work. You might not get this one in this stream, guys. I apologize. I'm just curious if the jumping resets it every time. You jump every couple hundred. Looking for clues, looking for clues. This is, we'll get it up to 500. And jump. Nope, there it was. It still triggered it. I saw it. Yeah, okay, so jumping does not reset it. Let's just console log rogue and see what we're dealing with here. Maybe we'll just watch for a number that's getting super high. Like, oh no, that velocity y, that wouldn't, so that my hack solution should have solved it if it was the velocities, but still we'll check. Body, velocity y0. Is there an acceleration maybe? So there, she's doing it now. She's just floating along. Angular speed. Angle 0. Mass. That. Would changing the mass change anything? Maybe.
scroll down a bit and see if the velocity changes at all. Body, and we're looking for velocity. Y is still 0, so that, and it does seem to flicker between 0 and the weirdly tiny number. Okay, you know what? Not really a solution, but if we just say, let's just watch that velocity again, see what the number is, and see if we can modify it in any way to our benefit. Velocity.y. So there you go, it's 0. Because I think it's like 1, it's between, it's like -1 and 1 is what it's between. So if we can just maybe adjust our check, it's not the perfect solution, but again, hacky solutions have kind of been the way of this game already. So yeah, there it is right there. So 1 and -1, but it's like 0.13 blah 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 times e to the -13 or whatever the hell that means. So the question is that number changing? Doesn't seem to be. So that's good that it's not changing, because it probably means our hack solution will work. So what we can do is just say if y is less than 2 and, oops, why did I delete that? Hang on, keep that console log there. So y is less, if y is less than 2 and y is greater than -2, that's our range. Now if we say y is greater than 2 or y is less than -2, now, oh dear, oh my, what the hell? Oh, because we've still got that set velocity call in there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Looks okay. It's probably going to be one of those tiny little things that you can't even notice, but it still drives me nuts that it's even a thing. Okay, so we're at 700, 800, 900, 1,000. When we see this number start freaking out is when we're gonna know if it's actually working or not, based on what the character's doing. Right there. And she's still running, so... Oh, but we can't jump. Did I get that wrong? Can we jump at all before it starts freaking out? Yeah, we can jump. Oh, see, that's it right there. You can see she runs for a second in midair. That's gonna drive me insane. Ugh. You know what? Either that, or instead of watching the velocity because it seems to be an untamable beast, what if we just check for a collision with our box? Like, in arcade physics, this is super easy to do. You can literally check if there's something colliding from the top, left, bottom, right, whatever. But I feel like in Matter, it's going to be a bit harder. But I think that's probably the better solution to implement here. That's probably like the non-hacky way to do this. So let's see. Boop. Still cool. Body. Does it have collision filter? What is that? I'm gonna look that up. Matter Phaser 3 collision filter. Practical guide to matter physics collision filtering in Phaser 3. Ooh, set collision group. Interesting. So now the shoots will no longer collide with each other. Interesting. Vision, category, mask. I'm just gonna be lame and look up matter phaser. That looks interesting, but I don't feel like reading about all that right now. Matter phaser 3 colliding with ground. Might have to make a compound body with sensors to accomplish this. Skater touching ground, cool. But anyway, Ollie -12, love it. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's say world on collision active, skater ground. Let's just maybe do this. So I don't think this is always going to be the ground, but I think we can figure out how to detect if it's the ground. Matter collisions. Let's say I'm going to keep skater and ground because I think that's funny. Skater, ground. Pairs. Okay, what do we got here? Pairs. It's definitely not. Let's say, okay, also let's get rid of that other console log because that's going to drive me nuts in debugging this. Boink, there we go, now we're touching. Oh, it's on collision active. I feel like they have a different one. Come on, autocomplete, help me out here. Thought this was your thing, VS Code. Let's see. Phaser 3 world collision events. Sure. What is it? What was it? Collision active. Collision active. Wow, great. Why don't we just say collision start? See if that does anything. Point. There we go. There's one. And when we go over the seam, it repeats, so that's okay. Now we just have to figure out what all this means. So pairs is empty array. Say, call this collision. That I'm not even going to use anymore. Say, console.log, collision.pairs. I feel like this is a reference to both the objects. And it's totally messing up, but why does it say it has an object in it if it's empty? This is so dumb. So silly. Zero, see if it actually gets anything. Yeah, there we go. 0 and and let's try 1, because then hopefully that'll be a reference to both of them. Undefined. Awesome. Oh, body A, body B. Okay, interesting. Oh, I guess, yeah, because these are pairs of objects that are colliding. Okay. This is nuts, but okay. Body A. And then this pairs body B. So we just want to make sure we're getting both objects. Yes, there we go. ID3, ID7. So now, let's actually add some hacky little labels to those guys. We'll say this dot rogue dot is player equals true. We'll say this dot platform dot is ground is true. We'll say this dot platform dot is platform 2 dot is ground. So silly. It is so silly. T. Now in our collisions, what we're gonna do is we're gonna extract those two. We'll say const body A, body B equals collision dot pairs 0, and we'll say console.log body A dot is player body A dot is ground, and we'll say console.log body B dot is player body B dot is ground. So on the right side, we will have, if it's the ground, it's all undefined. Cool. Fucking terrific. Do we have to say dot body maybe? Rogue dot, probably. Dot body. Dot body. Oops. Let's see. Dot. Try this. There we go. And undefined again. Well, that's weird. Oh no, it's not weird actually. That makes sense. Because I never did define. Yeah, okay. So from that we can say const player touching ground equals body A dot is player or body B dot is player. I'll do it like this. We'll say that. And actually I'll clean this up a little. Say like that. And body A dot is ground. No. Yes. Or body B dot is ground. So if either of them, is this gonna work? Or is this gonna be nuts? Maybe it should be if body A is player and body B is ground. Yeah, I think that's how it should be. So, and body B dot is ground, or this is where the or goes. Body A dot is ground, and body B dot is player. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. So player touching ground. In fact, we'll just say this dot player touching ground equals that. We'll start it as false. Then we'll do, I could continuously update this on collision active, or I could just update it on collision start and end, which I think would be a little bit more performant maybe. Oh wow. Jeez. It's okay, it's okay. So collision start and collision end. Now let's console log this in our update function. Console.log this dot player is player touching ground, whatever. False, 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 true. We're on the ground, good. And we're still true. Damn it. Okay, fine, screw it. We're just gonna do active then. See if this makes a difference. Collision active. Although that'll probably never trigger an end, will it? Yeah, no it doesn't. Damn it. See if it will autocomplete it for me. Matter.world on, yeah, event name. It doesn't give me anything. No. Gosh, gersh darn it. Just need to know what the frickin' events are, not these stupid. Overlap. Resume. Tile flag. Load bounds. Oh, this is all arcade. Oh, arcade.events. Okay, I want physics.matter.events. Here we go. Collision end, right there. That's what I had. Sweet. Why didn't it work? Okay. Pretty sure that's what I had. Collision end. Console.log. Jump. Or, yeah, whatever, jump. Console.log. Land. Console.log. Land. Jump. Jump, jump. Well, people, I hate to say it, but my time here is just about up. It's insanely hot in my apartment, and I would really like to turn the fan on, but I can't do that while I'm streaming. Otherwise, you know, bad audio quality. It's all for the stream. Gotta prioritize, you know. But I still think I'm still pretty happy with the progress on this. We got a nice parallax background for the sky going. We've got an infinite platformer, infinite platform that keeps regenerating itself further and further to the right. We can sort of jump and fall. It's glitchy because of that bug we didn't quite resolve, but all in all, I think this was pretty successful. We got more or less some stuff working, and yeah, I'll catch everybody next Sunday. I'm gonna post my stream schedule later today, and it should basically be every Sunday, maybe around 2 o'clock, maybe around 1:30, something around like that. Just stay tuned and check the schedule for updates, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Dee-dee.